They met in the property owned by the Takahashi family in Ginza, Tokyo, and Maki Takahashi enthusiastically invited the two to sit in his office. Afterwards, he said very religiously, "I wanted to have a simple exchange with the two yesterday, but I didn't expect the accident happened to the boy, so I neglected the two, and please forgive me." As the eldest son of the Su family, Jufei took the initiative to smile and said, "Mr. Takahashi is too polite. Don't know what happened to young master's injury?" Maki Takahashi sighed and said, "He received surgery on his arms and is also put in a cast. It may take some time to recover." Jufei nodded lightly, and said politely, "It's a pity that Aki encountered such a thing. If Mr. Takahashi needs our Su family's help, please don't hesitate, we will definitely go all out." Although Takahashi really knew that Jufei was only being polite to him, he still said gratefully, "Thank you, Mr. Su, for your concern." Jufei smiled and said, "Mr. Takahashi does not have to be so polite. If our two can finally reach a cooperation, then we are each other's strategic partners. Our family attaches great importance to strategic partners, and I communicated with my father last night. On the phone, he is also very concerned about Aki's body, and he has repeatedly asked you whether it is useful to Su's family. If the Japanese orthopedic doctor is not good enough, he can send several orthopedic experts from Eastcliff." Maki Takahashi said flatteredly, "That's really thank you, Mr. Su. If I have this need, I will speak to you at that time." After talking, Takahashi sighed. The Su family's sincere attitude towards its partners makes the Su family admire, and at the same time more fascinated. If there is a chance to reach a strategic cooperation with the Su family, the Takahashi family will definitely go all out and never disappoint Su's expectations. Jufei nodded lightly and smiled, "That's good. In that case, let's talk about the details of cooperation next." Takahashi Maki suddenly said with a cold face at this time, "Mr. Su, Miss Su, before we start talking, I want to give our cooperation a temporary precondition." Ziyu frowned. "Mr. Takahashi, temporarily increase the conditions, some are not suitable, right?" Takahashi said sincerely, "Miss Su, the condition is not to raise the price from the Su family, but to ask the Su family to agree to me and cooperate with us to help completely eradicate the Ito family." Ziyu frowned as soon as Takahashi's words were spoken. She couldn't help but wonder. Yesterday my dad just said in a video conference that he would unite with one of them and kill the other. Why did Takahashi take the initiative to join us to kill the Ito family? Isn't it a coincidence? Is it true that Takahashi eavesdropped on the video conference of the family of three last night? Ziyu felt that her speculation was not impossible. She thought to herself, although the bodyguards who accompanied her had been tested when she checked into the hotel yesterday and confirmed that there were no bugs and cameras in the room, this is after all in Tokyo, in the sight of Maki Takahashi. If he wants to find a way, it should not be difficult to eavesdrop on me and my brother. Jufei also had some surprises and doubted whether it was tapped by Takahashi. However, because Takahashi Maki was right in front of him, Jufei couldn't communicate with his sister, so he winked at her. Ziyu nodded quietly, and then asked Maki Takahashi with a calm expression, "Mr. Takahashi, why are you completely eradicating the Ito family?" Takahashi said furiously, "That damn Takehiko has been working against me. If it's just normal business competition, it doesn't matter, but he has risen to the level of personality insult to me and my family." With that said, Takahashi Maki told the story of Takehiko Ito sending flowers and fruit baskets yesterday, and calling to mock him. After speaking out of righteous indignation, he still cursed in annoyance. "This Takehiko, joking with my son, and ridiculing us all, is too much. So I made up my mind when I was in the hospital yesterday. There is him without me, or there is me without him." Takahashi is not stupid. He knows that if he rashly offered to join forces with the Su family to destroy the Ito family, the Su family would doubt whether they were being monitored. Therefore, when he mentioned Takehiko, he deliberately exaggerated his words, and the whole person was extremely angry. The whole performance can be said to have reached the acting skills of a powerful actor. What he thought was that if the Su family really believed his words, then instead of suspecting that they were eavesdropped on, they would feel more like their natural allies. In this way, he will definitely become the best candidate for cooperation in the eyes of the Su family. Ziyu was indeed relieved when she heard this. Obviously, she did believe what Takahashi said. Because all this sounds so natural. Maki Takahashi's son was injured, and at the same time he became a laughingstock. This in itself already made him very irritated. At this time, Takehiko came to add fuel to the fire, teased him, and irritated him. Thinking of this, she smiled slightly and said to Takahashi Maki, "Mr. Takahashi, let's talk about cooperation first. As for the matter you just said, if the cooperation itself is okay and everyone can reach an agreement, this matter can also be discussed." Maki Takahashi immediately said excitedly, "That's really great. Don't worry, Miss Su, I have shown 200% sincerity this time. I believe the Takahashi family must be the best choice for the Su family." When Maki Takahashi had detailed negotiations with Jufei and Ziyu, Charlie and his party had already arrived in Yokohama and went straight to Kobayashi Pharmaceuticals' production base in Yokohama. Chin Gang's medicinal materials had also been delivered 2 hours ago. Therefore, Ichiro and Liang began to organize workers at the Yokohama production base to conduct trial production of JXY. The trial production went very smoothly. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the first batch of qualified JXY powder was produced in batches from the assembly line. After that, Charlie and his party immediately drove to Nagoya, the most important city in central Japan. When they arrived in Nagoya, it was late.